Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Echoes of Democracy. We've got a lot to unpack today.
Absolutely. You won't believe what we've got lined up. So, did you catch wind of this hypothetical second inauguration for Trump?
Yes, when I first heard about it, I thought it was some kind of joke.
Same here. I mean, making a pit stop at his golf club in Virginia before the ceremony? Who does that?
Right. And get this, he threw a bash with an Elvis impersonator and fireworks.
Seriously? That's over the top, even for him.
Exactly. I wonder what the First Lady thought. Do you think she was on board with all that?
Probably just going along for the ride at this point. But honestly, what's your take on that whole detour?
I think it's classic Trump, always craving the spotlight. He loves to keep people guessing.
Definitely. But you have to admit, it's entertaining if nothing else.
True. But moving on, the venue change due to freezing temperatures. That had to be a logistical nightmare.
Oh man, I can't even imagine over zero ticket holders had to change their plans last minute.
That's rough. I was reading about these two brothers, Arthur and Richard Case.
Uh-huh.
They've been diehard supporters since the beginning. They were at his first inauguration and were so excited for this one.
Wow, I feel for them. It must be really disappointing.
Exactly. But they said they're still going, no matter what. That's some serious dedication.
Absolutely. But do you think all this chaos could dampen the enthusiasm of his supporters overall?
Maybe a bit. I mean, nobody likes having their plans messed up, but I think his core base will stick with him.
Yeah, they seem pretty unwavering. But here's an interesting point. The theme of his address is unity and strength, focusing on fairness,
Fairness? That's an interesting choice of words.
right? Especially considering all the controversy and claims about the election being stolen.
Exactly. It's a bit ironic to preach unity after contributing to so much division.
Oh, couldn't agree more. Do you think this message will resonate beyond his loyal followers?
Honestly, I think he'll have a hard time reaching across the aisle. People have long memories.
True. But maybe this is his attempt to turn over a new leaf?
Perhaps. But actions speak louder than words, and he's got a lot to prove.
Fair point. But here's a curveball. Biden announced he's attending the inauguration.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. It caught me off guard too. Do you think it's a genuine gesture or is there something else at play?
Maybe a bit of both. It could be a strategic move to promote national unity.
It's certainly an interesting development. Especially since Trump skipped Biden's inauguration.
Exactly. It's like they're trading places in more ways than one.
Definitely. Do you think the public will see this as a positive step?
I think some will appreciate the effort, but others might see it as political theater.
Yeah, cynicism runs deep these days.
For sure. But shifting gears, this whole situation reminds me of Grover Cleveland's non consecutive terms.
Oh, you're right. History repeating itself.
Exactly. Do you think there are lessons we can learn from that era?
Perhaps. Back then, the country was also facing significant divisions.
Right. And maybe understanding that can help us navigate our current challenges.
Maybe so. But it's not just about looking back, it's about what we do now.
Agreed. And on that note, how do you think all this will affect future elections?
Well, it could set some dangerous precedents if we're not careful.
That's for sure. We need to protect the integrity of our electoral process.
Absolutely. But perhaps this is an opportunity to address flaws and make improvements.
I think that's a good way to look at it, turning challenges into opportunities.
Exactly. But it will require cooperation and open dialogue.
Which is hard to come by these days.
Tell me about it. Social media certainly doesn't help.
Yeah, echo chambers only amplify division.
Precisely. Maybe we need more platforms for honest, respectful conversation.
Like this podcast, perhaps? Laughs.
Ha! Exactly. A place where we can discuss differing viewpoints without hostility.
Speaking of which, I heard some people think the venue change was a deliberate move to control the crowd.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's speculation that moving indoors was a way to limit attendance without admitting a lack of support.
That's an interesting theory. Do you buy into that?
I'm not sure, but it's something to consider. What do you think?
I think sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one. Maybe it was just too cold.
Laughs. You might be right.
But it does highlight how people are quick to see ulterior motives these days.
Absolutely. Mistrust is at an all-time high.
Which brings us back to the need for rebuilding trust and encouraging open communication.
I couldn't agree more. So where do we start?
Maybe by having conversations like this one and, encouraging others to do the same.
That's a start. Small steps can lead to big changes.
Exactly. And by staying informed and engaged, we can all contribute to positive change.
Well said. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just that it's up to all of us to shape the future we want to see.
Agreed. Thanks for another enlightening discussion.
Always a pleasure. And thanks to everyone listening in.
Until next time on Echoes of Democracy, stay curious and stay involved.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.